What's up, guys? So today we're going to be doing a deep dive on the Johnny Depp trials. It's been going on for a few weeks now. I think they're like on trial number 7 or day number 7. And we're just going to be looking at clips because I found some of the cross-examination hilarious. I've been watching it little by little. I haven't been watching like the whole thing, but I've been watching like the highlights of it. And it's been fairly entertaining, so I want to take you guys down this deep dive. Also, be sure to subscribe so I can reach my 500 subscriber milestone and start watching videos. So going through my history, you can see that there's so much that I've watched. I just went down the rabbit hole and it was entertaining. So let's start at the beginning. So this is more like a meme video of the cross-examination that happened to Johnny Depp by one of Amber Heard's lawyers, and they had a lot of sound effects, but the subtitles help a nice bit with just what the fuck is going on. Well,
objection calls for hearsay.
NANI?
Let me ask you a different question, Mr. Depp.
Let's let him object to another one. Had a conversation with Ms. Heard.
yeah, so from what I saw, I think in a later video we can see her lawyers were just saying hearsay so much that he actually fumbles and hearsays himself on how basically he tried to start a sentence and said hearsay, and then it just kept on escalating. People started ignoring him in the court and everything.
Let's move beyond the conversation that
Okay.
Kevin Murphy had with Mr.
Said, yes, they had. Okay.
Okay. And
Ms. Heard had told
Hearsay or
once again,
she would like for him to quote. That's hearsay, I guess.
I know it just serves off of the truth of the matter.
yeah, that's another thing I find annoying. There's a huge crowd of like a whole bunch of girls that are there for Johnny Depp and everything. There's a lot of people there. The people that really kind of shouldn't be there. It's kind of like a court between them, and it's become kind of like this audience of watching like this train wreck, because it's a train wreck on both sides. Johnny Depp is a train wreck, Amber Heard is a train wreck, both lying. Johnny Depp, of course, can act, and during his testimonies he does some acting. I think I'm gonna watch behavioral analysis of one of the things that happened. And yeah, let's continue this.
he got it.
Okay, all right, well then.
I'm learning. Ms. Heard that
I'll move to strike this as hearsay, Your Honor.
All right, I'll go ahead.
disturbing. Yes, I looked at papers. Maybe they're hearsay. I can read it out of someone's article, but not from the man's mouth.
It's a pretty simple yes or no question, which is
You'd like
other
it to be, sir.
others
Nothing simple in this case. October is 2 months before December. That's correct.
the document that you signed as part of your divorce proceedings, correct?
That's my signature indeed.
1,
That is your signature on the right, correct?
2,
Yes, it is.
This is the document you signed,
3.
right?
For the third time, that is my signature, yes.
And that was a document you signed in August
4.
of 2016.
What the fuck is going on?
Is that the same one that I signed 3 times before? Yes, that's the one.
I wanted to make clear that you signed that in the summer of 2000, Paul Bettany, correct?
Again.
Okay, so you were drinking pretty heavily.
Were you there? Very ugly situation.
Exactly, like,
Mr. Depp,
if he's going on the whole hearsay thing, unless you have proof that he was doing something, it's hearsay. Maybe. I don't know fucking law. I'm not a lawyer. The most law I know is the Phoenix Wright games. That's about it. And that law is just a guy throwing a toupee at your face in the first game. There's a guy that shreds a guitar, air guitar, and it's a rock star that just is a fucking lawyer. So, you know, take this with a grain of salt.
With respect, trying to respect the court's time and the jury's time, that was not my question. My question was
I
simply,
understand when you
would
take 5
agree,
minutes to look for a
you would agree,
document.
you would agree that on
Fucking took 5 minutes for one
500, defense exhibit 500.
piece of evidence.
I'd like to see who I lied to.
Sometimes drink whiskey in the mornings too, right?
Isn't happy hour anytime?
True?
That you carried cocaine in that box?
No, but it looks like it would fit some cocaine. I once gave Marilyn Manson a pill.
This was fucking hilarious.
Stop talking so much.
That right?
You did.
Did I read that correctly?
You did.
Okay. Did I read that right?
Yes, you did.
Did I read that right?
You continue to read them right, yes.
Right after you cut your finger
Yeah,
off.
that's another thing. My brother said, basically, this was a tactic to, like, see how irritable he is if they keep asking him the same question. And I was like, I don't think that's the tactic they're going. I don't think they're that organized, like Amber Heard's lawyers, to use that tactic of, like, over irritability. Like, they're trying to get him mad. And later on, he agreed with me. Their lawyers are just, what are they doing? Like, what's the point they're trying to make?
That you, or right after, I won't give you anything to argue with me yet. Right after you sustained an injury to your finger.
Yep.
Sorry. That you, right after you sustained an injury to your finger.
Bless you.
Poured yourself a mega pint of red wine, correct?
Mega pint. If I'm correct, it was like
Yeah.
a
Fast forward in
small.
time,
It was like
Mr.
a
Depp,
mason jar slash goblet thing. It was like
I have other uses for your throat.
it could
which
hold
do
like 2
not
cups,
include
from what I
injury.
saw.
I have other uses for your throat which do not include injury.
Okay.
Sorry, could you read that again?
They're just chilling. Yeah, because everything's turning in everything's turning to Johnny Depp's side. Like, everything's kind of like lining up for him, but I don't think this is gonna win. This is gonna be like a whole countersuit kind of thing. There's too much evidence on Johnny Depp being super neglectful and stuff, and it's kind of weird. She's full of shit, like, completely, but so is he, and his lawyers, like any lawyer, are full of shit. They're trying to defend their not witness. They're trying to defend their goddamn, I can't talk. They're trying to defend their customer. No, their yeah. I'll just say customer because I can't think of the fucking word. They're trying to defend their customer, and they give him tactics. They coach them on what to say, how to say it, and once again, when it comes to Johnny Depp, he when he wants to, he can act, and there's a few times where he does act. I completely forgot what the fuck I was saying. I'm just gonna go to the next one. So there's a few more. I was just going down the fucking rabbit hole. Don't look at my history too much. There's so much of it.
You heard Miss Heard say, "Get off me." You heard Miss Heard say, "Get off me," right?
That's hearsay.
No, I did not. Hitting the wall hard based on the
Just take a look at the next
accusations that she
exhibit.
The poop
I'm
emoji.
sorry.
So that poop emoji, we're gonna get to it, but ever since one story came to light, poop emoji is her emoji from now on.
Talking, is that all right?
Sorry for the pausing. I just want to talk, you know. I just don't want to watch the video.
As long as you're happy, sir.
You didn't want her acting. You wanted to control her career, correct?
Objection compound.
That's
Hold
patently
on,
untrue, and it's a great
Depp,
guess.
sir. All right, yes, I'll sustain the objection. Next question.
Okay.
Sorry.
We can
I'll
bury
take
that
that.
right.
Yes, Mr. Rottenborn.
You're complaining about her ambition in this text to her, to Dr. Kipper, correct?
I'm realizing that her ambition is far stronger than her supposed feelings for me, yes. It doesn't mean that I actually literally cut my finger off after, at the age of 12, finding the only thing that gave me peace, which is playing the guitar. Very unlikely. Why didn't I start lopping off digits when I was 13 then?
Just the way it was worded. Now, misheard what?
Objection, relevance.
What's the relevance?
When your nerves are
Wait,
pushed...
sir, if you
Can we approach, Your Honor?
Pardon?
She was trying to get you to stop using drugs. But
She
let's take a
used
look at
the
what you
same-
say
She
in
had
this
used
text.
that term before.
In this text, Mr. Depp, you say just there were numerous negative news stories about you. You'd agree with that, correct?
Objection, compound.
All right, I'll sustain it to compound.
Thank you so much.
Jesus fucking Christ. Look at
May
that fucking
7th,
booklet.
2016.
It's a
It's
fucking...
entitled Johnny Depp, Friends and Family.
I was gonna say 800
Seriously
word essay, that's not that
Concerned
big.
About
It's a
Here's Why.
fucking,
Yes,
Correct.
how did they know?
The next article from May 1st, 2017, before misheard filed for says
Misfiled
Johnny
filed,
Depp
really?
reportedly drank heavily and was constantly late on the new Pirates movie set. Did I read that right?
You did, reportedly.
report.
Next
These are
article,
all hit
also
pieces.
from May
These
10th,
are drags, sir.
2017. Mr.
This
Depp,
is a pathetic attempt.
Mr. Depp, please just respond to the question
God
that I'm
damn.
asking.
What's your
The next
question?
Whenever-
the next
Whenever the lawyers are questioning him, he's just insanely sassy. Like he's like going back at them, talking back a lot, and it's weird because during the behavioral analysis, it's like he's talking more in a character instead of like his normal way of talking, you know?
next document
Yes.
is entitled Johnny Depp's Financial Woes Might Sink the Next Pirates of the Caribbean. Did I read that right?
You did. I don't know
The
how
next
my
article,
financial woes would do
May
that.
25th, 2007. Johnny Depp's star power looks as wobbly as Jack Sparrow on a plank. Did I read that right?
You read that very, very well.
The next one, Hollywood Reporter, May 27th.
See the fucking
2000.
audience.
Did I read that
The
correctly?
reports say this is hearsay.
June
is it not?
21st,
It is like
2018, 6 months
fucking
before the inside
90%
the trials of Johnny
all
Depp.
girls.
Did I read that right?
You did. You should read the article. It's
And the last
wonderful.
one, June 22nd, 2018. The day Alison Boshoff reveals why Hollywood's reeling over what's being called Johnny Depp's career note. Did I read that correctly?
You did. Who's Alison Boshoff and how does she know?
Mr. Depp,
True.
you can't name...
Once again, there's a lot of articles, but the sources are from other articles. So there's not really... There might be some... That's the thing. I haven't read articles or anything like that. This is me just presuming. There's a lot of info that came out that was just referencing other articles that the other articles don't have any base to stand on. So, in the end, those articles that he's presenting right now kind of don't really matter. It's just a whole bunch of headlines, and most of the articles themselves are just a headline. That's it. They don't have a lot of substance to them.
Single actress. No further questions.
All right.
What a question! You were just listing off fucking articles.
Sean Bailey, who was the number 3.
Objection, hearsay.
Excuse me?
I don't know yet. I'll overrule it.
Exactly, like...
May I continue, Your Honor?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
I don't get why the
Just basically
emojis and all
said
that
in the
bullshit, you know?
Objection, hearsay.
No,
Sean Bailey said.
this is about him
It's in
learning about this. It's
Yeah.
not for the truth.
Like, he's making a fool out of himself.
Approach. That's part.
This just looks bad.
Please explain to the jury who Sean Bailey is. I think you were starting to.
Yes, I'll try again. Sean Bailey was quoted as
Quoted.
saying that
Objection, hearsay.
He was quoted.
Mr. Depp, where was Sean Bailey quoted?
Ignored.
Getting into what he was quoted as saying.
I don't know who did the interview with him.
Objection, lack of foundation.
I'll overrule the objection. Go ahead.
Overruled. He's losing his patience.
I've been
And that's
approached
kind of, if they were going down that path, that's what they would want. Just keep objecting to everything he's saying, so that way he loses his cool.
A quote where you said you wouldn't come back to the Pirates franchise for $300 million and a million alpacas. Do you remember that?
I do.
What? Do you recall when specifically you made that statement about the $300 million and the 100 alpacas?
Objection, asked and answered.
Overruled on that.
Mr. Depp, do you recognize this document?
He's like the boy that cried wolf. He kept saying hearsay so much that the big person with the gavel is just completely not taking him seriously.
So pathetic when it comes to knowing what movies I've done. I'm sorry. I just I don't watch them. I feel better not watching them.
Yeah, it's like when I record videos, I have to edit them, and I can't. I get like I cringe whenever people are watching my videos. Even though I do want people to watch my videos, just like me seeing them, and kind of like, ugh, so uncomfortable. I'm like, did I fuck up? Did I say a joke that didn't land? Which my jokes are very far and few between. I'm not the most talkative person. I'm more expressive, and goddamn, it's like right there, like watching me. God damn it! But I want people to watch. That's why I post videos.
I couldn't. I mean, what was the question again?
How many?
I have order in the court, or I will have.
People shouldn't be laughing. This is a courtroom.
How would you describe Mr. Bettany's relationship with Miss Heard while you and Miss Heard were together?
Abominable.
Mr. Depp, I believe this is another text message with Mr. Bettany that you were shown on your cross-examination.
The face.
Came home from school.
Your Honor, I'm just going to object on relevance.
So that face with Amber, the whole demeanor of like down face and everything. She was coached to do that. Like her lawyers told her, don't crack a smile whenever he's vulnerable. Don't do any of that. A few times that slips through the cracks. So it's kind of weird, you know. And yeah, it kind of slips through the cracks, and she does smile, and it kind of breaks the character, and people can see that she wants to see more pain on Johnny Depp, even though he could be also like coach and acting all that. But her character is constantly changing, and it feels like they're climbing up a losing battle, like Amber's lawyers and all that.
And when he came home from school.
Your Honor, I'm just going to object on relevance. The question was, who was this about?
Yeah, we can move on.
Okay.
Mr. Depp, what if any portion of this email exchange is literally true?
We're all set to leave here at approximately 1:30 p.m. Hope you rested well.
Damn.
I believe there's also a napkin down there where
Objection,
someone
Your Honor, lack of
wiped.
foundation. He's referring to exhibits that aren't in evidence. And
All right,
I have no idea whether they even exist.
I'll sustain the objection now. Next question.
You didn't know what could cause damage to Mr. Depp's
That's
hand
her
while
other
you were there
lawyer.
on March 8th, correct?
Dr. Kipper told me he sustained an injury on one of his fingers.
Objection, hearsay.
Wait, you asked the question.
What?
Next question.
Okay. you
What
said
the fuck was that?
sustained
Okay,
hearsay.
let's go back through that.
What could cause?
Next question.
So,
You didn't know what could cause damage to Mr. Depp's hand while you were there on March 8th, correct?
Dr. Kipper told me he sustained an injury on one of his fingers.
Objection, hearsay.
Wait, you asked the question.
you asked the question, my dude.
Okay, you said he sustained an injury to his finger.
One of his fingers.
Objection, hearsay.
Wait, you asked the question.
Oh,
Next.
okay, you said he sustained
He's
an
fucking
injury.
laughing his ass off because their whole thing is hearsay, and it's just like backfiring at the wrong times, making them seem extremely unprofessional. I think this is the finger story.
That
Which,
I
you
stood
know
up.
what? I'm gonna I'm gonna put the behavioral analysis version of this one. He's recalling on when he cut his middle finger like with a bottle, because apparently, not sure, wasn't there. There's only two people in that scene. Amber Heard threw a bottle and it almost severed his finger. Let's go to the poopy story.
I literally just got into bed. I remember the television was on, and I was reading, and I suppose Miss Heard was down in her area, taking off her makeup and changing into sleep clothes, whatever, and she entered the bedroom while I was laying on my side of the bed, reading, and she was still rattling off all the wrongs I'd done to her in that particular day, and how unreliable I am, and what a horrible person I was, and I did not engage verbally, nothing. I sat there or laid there reading my book, and when she didn't get a jump out of me or a jolt out of me, she got out of bed, she walked around the bed, she came to my side, and again,
eyebrow touch.
You know, you've got a person who is throwing multiple shots at your face, at your head, at your neck, at anything she could hit.
Okay.
So I got up out of bed, and I grabbed her by the shoulders, and I sat her down on the bed.
There's one thing I don't know. That probably.
By the shoulders.
That's something I don't know. Maybe that didn't happen. Maybe he was more physical, and just grabbing her, putting her on bed after all that. Kind of weird. Maybe he did. Maybe he didn't.
Please don't get
Could have
off
been
the
more
bed.
physical.
Please don't follow me. Please don't try and stop me. I'm leaving. And she got up.
That's another thing. His way of fixing a lot of the problems that were going on,
and
which it could be
squared
like
off at me
a way of
our bedroom.
a way of coping with the
And I said,
constant
what do you
not
want to
being
hit
there.
me again?
Like
Would you like
anytime
to
there
hit
was a
me again?
problem, a confrontation, he would leave.
And I said, go ahead.
She built some animosity to that. That's a thing that could have happened. And he's a very, as you can see, he's a very good
And then I just
storyteller.
said,
He's just
Is
calmly
that what
talking.
you wanted? Would you
And
like another?
maybe that's what happened. Maybe that's not what happened. But one thing I've
Just a
noticed is
second.
that there's a lot of times where he just decided to like
Now
walk
you're
away
done.
from the situation.
Grabbed her
Good
by
thing
the
to do,
shoulders,
but when it's constant,
walked her to the bed,
and
sat her down,
if she
and
was
said,
referring to heavy drug
don't
use, like
follow me.
let's try to do this
Alone.
together, let's try to get off drugs, let's try to stop drinking and all that.
I grabbed a few things.
The constant walking
And I got
away
up
could trigger somebody
immediately, and I
to the
went to,
point of getting physical. Like he doesn't want to face stuff
my
head on,
house,
he just wants to
sweet
leave.
shirt.
And that could be a sign for Amber,
As Ms. Heard was,
but
she was
right now
leaving
we don't know anything. We don't know these people.
following day for
They're actors.
Coachella.
Amber, I'm not sure what her acting career is. Johnny Depp, he's been everywhere, people know it. But in the end, you don't know who these people are. You don't know what they do behind closed doors. So.
Out in the desert, she and her friends were going to Coachella for the weekend, and that was it. That was it.
So
Mr. Depp, after
there was a
April
physical
21st,
altercation.
2016, when
Amber
was
was
the next time that you
telling
actually
her,
saw Miss
telling him
Heard
all
in
the things
person?
she doesn't like. Got physical with
I left
him.
Miss
Sat her on the
Heard,
bed. He says, "Don't follow me."
Penthouse 3.
So he's gathering his stuff. He goes to the
at
door.
4:30 in the morning.
He tells him, "Do you want to hit me again?" She went again and hit him. She set her back on the bed, told her to sit down, and then he went on to somewhere else, one of his other houses.
April 22nd. And that's when I left. And from that moment on, I did not see Ms. Heard until May 21st.
And why was that?
I received some news that was as absurd and grotesque and cruel.
He's like
And then I was shown a
hanging
picture
on every word so that way he doesn't have to get
what
to the
problem
point.
was. I had gone
Like
to
the
Mr. Depp
punchline of this story.
and said, she's in she's at Coachella. I think it's a good time to go downtown so that I can get some of my things, you know, and get them out of there, especially the things that were precious to me, you know, children things, things from friends, Brando, Hunter, Thompson, whatever, things that were important to me. And he said, I don't think now's a good time to go. And I thought, it's the perfect time. She's not going to be home for 2 days. And then he showed me a photograph on his telephone of...
Objection, Your Honor.
Here it comes.
It's a photograph, Your Honor.
That's being relayed to him by Mr. Depp.
He says he looked at it on his phone.
I'll overrule the objection as the photograph.
What was the photograph of Mr. Depp?
It was a
He's laughing his ass off because of how absurd.
It was a photograph of the bed, our bed. And on my side of the bed, was human fecal matter. So I understood why it wasn't a good time to go down there. My initial response to that was, I laughed.
Like, what can you do? Like, it's so fucking absurd.
It was so outside. It was so bizarre and so grotesque that I could only laugh.
That's the thing. Even as he's telling the story, he just wants to laugh his ass off.
So I did not go down there that day.
Mr. Depp, how?
Conducted.
This one is about I think it was their psychologist, their marriage counselor, I'm not sure what it was, asking questions about how do I explain it? I'm trying to remember so I don't do anything. I'm not sure if it was their marriage counselor, it was counselor they had, and the Amber's lawyers just completely screw up this cross-examination. Like, they get facts wrong. Like the video says, they're struggling, they're getting facts wrong, and mispronouncing everything. And this lawyer was like one of the biggest hurdles that like made them seem incapable. From what we've seen so far, they've done that themselves, but now they've done it even worse. Because this lawyer was, this psychiatrist was on point. Like, she knew her facts, she knows her statistics, and they're trying to reference statistics that don't make sense to the actual ones. Let's see this.
Or characterologically conducted conduct that suggests they may be an IPV perpetrator, correct? I have to ask that again because I stumbled. I can't think characterologically. That one's just a tough one for me. Okay. Dr. Curry, you're not board certified, correct?
No, I'm not.
Not in clinical psychology or in forensic psychology, correct?
No, I'm a licensed clinical psychologist.
But you're not board certified?
No.
Okay. And you also have only been
Trying to
practicing
discredit her?
approximately 8 years, is that correct?
That's not correct.
How many years?
I've been licensed for 10 years, and I've been practicing for about 15 years.
Okay. Now, you went to Mr. Depp's home for dinner and drinks before you were hired as an expert in this case, correct?
That's not quite right. I was interviewed at Mr. Depp's home by his legal team. Dinner was served.
And don't you think that's a little odd that you're getting interviewed by Mr. Depp to decide whether you're going to
Depp.
testify adversely
Once again,
against Amber
this is
Heard?
lawyers.
He was serving dinner and drinks.
He was
correct?
not serving dinner and drinks.
Well, it was at his house at his behest, correct?
Yes, it was at his house.
Okay. And at that time, you not only knew Johnny Depp, you'd seen a number of his TV and movie roles, and you believed he was a good actor, correct?
Not correct. I did not know Johnny Depp. I had
you knew
seen
of
several of
him.
his movies.
You knew.
So she didn't know him. She's seen movies. That's normal. Once again, you don't know a person. They're just acting. Pictures on a screen. So she doesn't know him for. She doesn't know him as a person. It's kind of weird that. Well, yeah, it's kind of like bartering the bread a little bit by having a meeting before everything and being hired for this case and stuff. Like, that's a little bit sketchy, and a lot of things could have been practiced, consulted, and it's kind of weird. But the way she covers the bases are very on point.
Knew who he was.
Yes.
Right. And you believed he was a good actor.
Yes.
correct? Okay. And then you provided an expert designation in this case before ever seeing Amber or having an opportunity to review any documents or records. Isn't that correct?
I did not provide an expert designation. That's an attorney thing. My opinions are contained in my report.
Exhibits patterns of behavior that are consistent with co-occurring cluster B personality disorder traits, especially borderline personality disorder. Did I get that right?
I'm reading that here. That is not my opinion.
Okay.
Well,
but
it's a current opinion, but this was not an opinion of mine then. I didn't have any opinions at that time.
It says Dr. Curry will testify, correct?
That's what it says, yes.
Okay. And this is a signed pleading, correct? On behalf of Mr. Depp.
I'm not sure I understand what that means.
You don't understand what a signed pleading is?
No.
Okay. Do you understand that Mr. Depp's counsel prepared this and served it on Ms. Heard's counsel?
I'm not an attorney. I don't understand necessarily all of these procedures.
Okay. Now, would you agree that a disproportionate number of women are tagged with a diagnosis of borderline personality disorder?
No, that's not quite right.
75%?
The way you phrased it is not quite right.
Tell me what's right.
Okay, so there are more women who have been diagnosed with bipolar disorder than men. It's more prevalent in women.
And trauma can cause borderline personality disorders, can't it?
No.
There's so many people on the stands
Right now,
just
we know that there are
smiling
people who
from
have
eye
borderline
to
personality
eye.
disorder,
Like,
who have
yeah,
sustained childhood
Amber's
trauma.
getting told off
There
or
are
whatever,
also
and it's
people who
kind
have
of
borderline
fucking weird.
personality disorder who have had no childhood trauma.
Or the other way around.
Like most personality disorders, and really like most mental health issues in general, there seems to be both a biological component. In this case, with borderline personality disorder, the research tends to support a genetic component and possibly a neurological component. And then there is also possibly an environmental component triggering those genetic markers.
So, like she said, they're trying to put it as basically life experiences causes DID disorder. Well, DID disorders and DID, but whatever. They're trying to pin it on that, and she completely like told them, no, that's not how it works. It's more like a genetic component. It's more environmental. The last thing we're looking for is past experiences, and right there they completely shut case one of their biggest things they were leaning on too.
Now, you've never been asked to testify or serve as an expert with respect to whether someone has a bipolar disorder. Is that correct?
A bipolar disorder?
Yes.
That's not correct.
Okay. Ms. Heard repeatedly and characterologically perpetuated severe physical and psychological intimate partner violence, IPV, toward Mr. Depp over the course of their relationship. End of quote. Did I read that correctly?
It says perpetrated, but other than that, yes.
Okay.
It says that.
And you have never been asked to testify as to whether anyone has behaviorally or characterologically conducted conduct that suggests they may be an IPV perpetrator, correct? I have to ask that again because I stumbled. I can't do characterologically. That one's just a tough one for me. Okay. You have never been asked to testify as to whether anyone has behavioral or characterological conduct that suggests they may have been an IPV perpetrator, correct?
No, I've never been asked to testify for that.
Okay.
The next one is, this one's so long. So basically, I'll just go over it real quick. I'm not gonna watch the whole thing.
You were there with.
They're going on how basically there was injuries on Amber Heard while they were at a penthouse. Cops went in, they didn't see anything wrong. They gather a statement or whatever. Then they sent another one to make sure that everything's good, and they didn't see nothing wrong either. And that's a bit weird because there's basically putting over the case that there was a physical altercation between Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. He left after that, and the cops were called saying to see if Johnny was still in the apartment and all that, which he wasn't. He left. They show some footage of him leaving. What I find really weird is that yes, the cops didn't see any like bruising or anything like that, but it could have also been staged. Like the apartment could have been roughed up, and a lot of things point to it could have been staged. But the footage of the elevator was what's kind of weird. I don't know how to explain it. Johnny Depp seemed really hyped up, like if he had just got into like physical alteration. He looked mad. He takes off his coat. He's like pumped up. So something could have happened there. He was with two other guys. I forget who they are. And that's super weird. The cops didn't see anything, but if there was anything big, they could have seen it. They're also saying that she could have been wearing makeup, so obviously she could hide anything. But the physical alteration happened, so it happened. She put on makeup to cover it up that quickly. Could have happened, but swelling and all that, it could be noticed. And this one's that one that's really up and up. That Johnny Depp probably got into a physical alteration with her, and it ended up sour. But they could also be making it up, which we don't know where to stand there. This is one of the most recent ones, I think. So I'm just gonna skip this one because, let me see, was there anything? I'm just scrolling through the footage. See if I can see. That's the cop. I think that's the first set of cops that went in. I don't think I finished this video. I finished the other one where it was the second set of cops that went through. That's the full trial, fucking 7 hours. This is the one I saw. It's 32 minutes, I'm not gonna watch it all. I'm just gonna scroll by. They're asking him basically, did you see anything? And he basically said no. There's a lot of negligence on the cop's part because he didn't pull aside any of the... He didn't pull aside Amber, he didn't pull anybody else. The body cams didn't get a lot of the footage, so you can see their faces clearly. And he didn't pull anybody aside, he didn't do any reports, so he was super negligent of him not to hear that there was like this big thing that happened and not take more precaution into it. So here's some of the footage of let's just go. Here's some of the footage of the cam. They got into the elevator. They went inside. This person, I'm not sure who he is. I didn't see the other one, but he basically did not want them to go in. I'm not sure if that. No, it wasn't Johnny because I think Johnny left. He didn't want them to go in. He asked for a business card on the other cops. I wanted to show it to them so they couldn't come in. They still came in, which is good because you have to see everything that's going on, see if any of the vibes are off. But they didn't proceed further. Like what they went in, they asked some very light questions, and then they left. Like they had no business on that. Trying to see where the hell did I see the elevator scene? This is the same footage, just from a different perspective. I think that's it. This one, I wish I could see it all, but it's so long. Might put it in, cut it up a bit. Oh, the whole muffins thing. It's kind of weird. Let's watch this one first. Then we can get to the bizarre witness. That was the owner of the apartment complex, maybe. I'm not sure. And this guy was just talking like he was talking to like one of his friends, and they thought that was insanely weird the way he was talking. The dude was vaping and fucking driving.
And your answer under oath at that time was?
Yeah.
No.
I've not, right?
Sorry, I haven't found the page in time.
Okay. You said, no, I've not.
But I have not.
Okay. Now, you also have never been asked to testify on whether an individual is being truthful in saying that they are a survivor of IPV. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And you have never qualified as an expert to speak to whether a person suffered from IPV, intimate partner violence, or was a victim or survivor of IPV. Is that correct?
That's outside the task of a psychologist to determine whether an event occurred. We assess behavior, we assess mental status, we don't detect crimes.
So you have not been asked to testify to that, correct?
It's not something that occurs, so no, I have not.
And you were not ultimately asked to provide any opinions on that, correct?
No, I was not.
Okay. Now, you did not disclose in any of the designations or your report that you had met with and had dinner and drinks with Mr. Depp, did you?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that one more
Yes,
time? That
you did
confused
not
me.
disclose in any of the designations or your report dinner and drinks with Mr. Depp, correct?
I
The
did
fuck
not
was
disclose
that?
that I was interviewed by the legal team, no.
I asked a different question. Are you trying to resist that you didn't have dinner with Mr. Depp and drinks?
I'm not trying to resist that, but it's not quite right.
You did
What you're
have dinner with
stating.
Mr. Depp, did you not?
I did, with
And
his
you had
legal
drinks
team
with
and
Mr. Depp, did you not?
And what?
You had drinks with Mr. Depp, did you not?
Drinks were served.
Once again,
This
they're still staying on the whole. You were drinking, so you were impaired on whatever your judgment was and everything because you were intoxicated.
was over 2 years ago. I may have had a drink with dinner, yes,
In fact, you thought you had a mule something, right?
possibly.
Yes, okay. And you didn't disclose that you had met with Mr. Depp, Mr. Waldman, Mr. Chu, and Ms. Vasquez at Mr. Depp's house for 3 to 4 hours.
Vasquez. It's Vasquez, not Vasquez. Vasquez.
And had dinner and drinks, correct?
I did not disclose that. It's not significant to the report.
You don't think that's significant, correct?
I don't.
Okay. But you've never been
And
asked
it's
to meet
not.
with a client in his counsel before being retained as an expert, either before or after, have you?
No.
And you justified that it was okay in this case because it was a high-profile case.
That's not quite right. I justified it in this case. Actually, I sought consultation about it. First of all, the person who had retained his attorneys was unable to come to my office with his attorneys. And yes, this is a very visible case. It's been going on a very long time. And I understood that there would be a need to interview me and make an informed decision about my qualifications.
Silence.
Can you look at page 240, please? line 3 is my question. Would you agree it's highly irregular to meet with the subject in a litigation? And your answer on that occasion was, I would not say it's highly irregular. I would say it's not something that I would typically do. However, I had not yet been retained on the case. This was a large, high-profile case, and I understood that I believed that it was appropriate for a person retaining me with such a high profile to meet me, to be able to vet me, essentially with the attorneys present prior to retaining me on his case. Do you recall that?
Yes.
That's what you said under oath, correct?
Yes.
And then I said, have you ever done that before? And you said, no. Correct? And then I said, have you ever done it since? And you said, no. Correct?
Correct.
Okay. Now, would you agree that if you did not find something that would be in favor of Mr. Depp and negative to Ms. Heard, that you wouldn't be an expert in this case? Essentially, you into court if you're going to say that Ms. Heard is right and Mr. Depp is wrong, correct?
So, as a forensic psychologist, my obligation is to the court, is to the fact finder. I present science regardless of what that science may be. Now, when I take a case, my retainer agreement is explicit about that, and I discuss that with the attorneys.
I'm asking you a question. I'd like you to try to answer my question.
She's prescribing. She's saying her policies of what she does. And basically they're saying, no, we want you to say exactly what we want. And she's not giving them that.
Understand that if you found favorably to Ms. Heard and negatively to Mr. Depp, you wouldn't be here, right? You wouldn't be testifying.
No, okay, sorry, hold on. The objection is speculation.
That's not speculation.
It is.
The objection, if you want to ask.
Okay. If
she has nothing to go on now because she was speculating that basically she's completely on Johnny's side and saying that has she found something bad about Miss Heard and something good about Johnny, that she was just gonna back up Johnny all the way. Once again, this is speculation. Like, what the fuck do you want?
it goes to bias, Your Honor.
This is the objection. Next question.
Uh-huh.
All right.
You're fucked. Get fucked.
You were, in fact, so excited about being involved in this case that you told your husband, even though this was a highly confidential matter, that you were going to be conducting the examination of Ms. Heard, didn't you?
That is not accurate.
You not only told your husband, but you told Ms. Heard that you told your husband, correct?
Ms. Bredehoff, that is not accurate.
What is accurate?
You're incorrect. That is not correct.
Is your testimony today under oath that you did not tell your husband that you were going to be conducting the examination of Amber?
That is my testimony.
Okay.
Okay. So she did not say anything. And now where's the evidence that she did say something? That's
So
how
page
the
306?
cross-examination works. You ask something, they refute, you show the evidence, and basically prove them wrong, and they have to fix their testimony. I know nothing about don't fucking judge me. Jesus fucking Christ, she's taking
So
so
the
long.
question that was asked was because you brought muffins, you said, from your husband, right? You gave those to Miss Heard, correct?
May I clarify what occurred so that we can start
It's
talking
fucking
about the
twitching.
muffins? What happened was that I was getting ready that morning. I frequently bring muffins to the office. My husband did happen to know that there was going to be a celebrity client coming in because on the mornings that occurs, which often occurs, we have to actually clear the office and move the staff to the other office. So yes, on the one hand, he was aware of that. I was getting ready. I asked him to go to the bakery near our house and pick up the muffins for me because I was running late. He often has to do that because I often do run late. He brought the muffins back to the house. I brought them into the office. Ms. Heard and I enjoyed the muffins together. I think I made a comment to her along the lines like, we can thank my husband, my husband got these for us today, meaning he purchased the muffins. We are now enjoying them because of him.
Did you say on pages 305 and 306 that you frequently have examinations of high-profile clients? You want to just take a quick look and tell us?
Okay.
What, 305, 306?
Yeah, that's where
Why
we're
is this
talking
lady
about.
Is there a
smiling
line
so
you'd
much?
like me to look at?
You can start with 15, line 15, 305. Just read through that and tell me whether you said anywhere in there that you have a lot of high-profile examinations. You do this frequently. I don't agree.
What's your approach, please?
That's the other thing. Johnny Depp's taking a lot of notes on stuff that he might refute later. His lawyer's constantly giving him sticky notes so he can add that. I'll focus on this. Tell me what happened with this. Write down your own statement on it so we can continue forward. Once they start asking from this line of questioning, question mark, don't know, not a lawyer, just a goof. What a goof! Skip a little bit. We can go a little bit forward.
So, why did your husband get the muffins for Amber Heard?
He did not get the muffins for Amber Heard.
Again, muffin thing. Why?
He knew you had a high-profile client, and you were preparing for a very long time, and you asked him to pick up the muffins, correct?
I asked him to pick up the muffins for me, yes.
Okay.
That's it. He picked up the muffins.
Would you agree that domestic abuse can be verbal?
So let's get to the most bizarre person they interviewed. I might not keep this whole thing because it's a fucking 23 minutes. I don't want to keep people here. And yeah, let's start this. Alright, here's the footage of after the whole altercation happened in the apartment. And it does look bad. It looks insanely bad. But we don't know what happened. Cops didn't do a good enough job gathering information to distinguish whether there was a physical altercation. But yeah, he looks hyped up. He's taking his coat off because he's heated. See? He's pacing back and forth like he's ready to like fight in something, or maybe something just happened. You often see this, like, I used to be a bouncer. When people start trying to get like hyped up, they start rocking back and forth so that way they can get hyped up and start something, you know? Or they already started something. You're trying to calm them down, they're doing the exact same thing. Okay. That guy's fucking weird. Good contrast though.
Near the bottom. Do you recognize this?
Jesus, who put the microphone in a blender? Oh, there's this. But you missed this one. We'll come back to the paper, dude.
Say, I feel vulnerable. She never really indicated a vulnerable feeling of her own. You'll see that between emotions. So she would suddenly be one way, and then she would become very animated or very sad. And when people are displaying these emotions with this personality disorder, there's a sense of shallowness to it. People who are observing them will feel like it's almost play acting, and they might not be able to put their finger on it. But part of it is because of the rapidness with which the person can switch emotions, and also the lack of substance. They don't really refer to, I feel this way. They might describe emotions, they might describe events, but very rarely, and Ms. Heard did not say, I feel vulnerable. She never really indicated a vulnerable feeling of her own. Then the substance of her self-report. So when I was asking her information about her history...
We're going to ask more about that later. I was just trying to get a sense of what her self-report was.
Oh, okay.
What psychological tests did you perform?
Okay, so psychological tests, I'll just go in order. So first of all, I asked her a couple questions from something called the mini mental status exam. That's really just a fancy way of saying that I wanted to make sure that she was alert and oriented to, we call it person, place, and time. That means she knew who she was, she knew who I was,
you know,
she knew where we were.
They common PPP.
That way I can ensure that she's able to participate in the evaluation and understand what's happening. I then administered something called the Minnesota Multiphasic Personality.
What is her face right now? She's just twitching.
The 2 means that it's the second edition. And this is something we call an objective measure. So it asks 567 questions or statements, and the person either agrees or disagrees.
I think it's just so much. I watched so much of this fucking thing.
Were you looking for swelling?
No, like I said, I was not looking for anything.
In fact, you were spending more time talking to Rocky about her dog, were you not?
That's correct, but I gotta have it. When I'm talking something.
Yeah, so when they started interviewing him, they were basically asking, oh hey, why did you notice anything? Like, after the altercation happened, you saw the footage of him getting in the elevator and all that. Did you notice that any of her eyes were like bruised? Was she wearing any makeup and all that? And this guy answers that straight, like, no, I didn't see anything. Guys don't really look for makeup. Like,
when I look into their eyes. And when I was talking to Amber and Rocky, I always look into their eyes.
I look right into their eyes.
Probably
Didn't see
wouldn't know
shit.
it, like it's swollen or bruised. Like I said, I probably would notice.
even if she had like gotten punched, like, and then put on makeup so you couldn't see it, you can still see the swelling. And that's things I've noticed before, like working at like the store, customers come through, and as you're ringing them up, you look up and you see like, yeah, they have makeup on, but you see that swelling. It's kind of like, oh, something going on there. That's kind of weird, and it's super depressing. But you can notice. Like, if somebody got punched, you can see, even if they apply tons of makeup, you can see that swelling, no matter how much makeup you put on. And even going back to this one bit, it's so fucking long. No, not that one. Let's just move forward. I think it's the audio quality is so fucking bad.
I'm just like really happy person. They're like, this is the first time I saw him like that.
Yep.
And then you go to the next, so then you say Wednesday, May 25th. At approximately 10:30, Ms. Heard walked into the lobby accompanied by Ms. Raquel Payne.
Oh, especially a day after, if you got punched, that shit's gonna be fucking swelling.
And you said that Ms. Heard approached you to ask you for the key to her unit, which you gave her. And you said we did not discuss anything else at that time.
Correct.
Ms. Heard stood approximately 3 feet away from you. I did not notice any bruises, cuts, swelling, red marks, or any other injuries of any kind on Ms. Heard's face. Do you see that?
Correct.
Okay. But you weren't looking for bruises, cuts, swelling.
I don't know if he's like, if he was taking a little bit of the sippy sip or the little jointy joint, but he seems a little bit off.
But something like that, it will be really noticeable. But I guess, I wasn't not looking. I was more focusing on what my job duties was, like getting the key, and also this. I gave them the key, and they were talking about. I told her, you know what, your dog. I was talking with Raquel because her dog got out of her unit. And that was one of my concerns. I was told, you know what, I saw your dog was outside. You didn't want me to get too close to it. So it's still out there. On the penthouse area, the dog will be fine because it's not, like I said, it's always really quiet. And Mr. Depp owns everything up there, so it'll be fine. So that was one of my concerns. That was my job. I was just taking care of that. I was not trying to say, oh, let me see your face. No.
Yeah.
So, and that's where I'm going to follow up. Do you remember what Ms. Heard was wearing that night?
Nope.
Do you remember whether she was dressed up?
No.
Do you remember where she was coming from, that she was coming home at 10:30 at night with his family?
No, I don't remember. They didn't mention to me. She was on the phone. She was with Raquel in front of me. And we were talking about it, and then she left to the lobby, where she was still on the phone.
So
I was focusing more on Raquel because I was telling about her dog.
Okay. Do you remember what hairstyle Ms. Heard had that night?
No.
Do you know what type of makeup Amber Heard was wearing that night?
No.
Can you tell me whether she was wearing concealer or foundation?
No.
Could
She
you
just
tell me
has to
whether
wear
she was
makeup.
wearing blush?
No.
Could you tell me whether she was wearing any kind of eye makeup?
No.
So who wrote the sentence, I did not notice any bruises, cuts, swelling, red marks, or any other injuries of any kind in Miss Bird's face?
I'm pretty sure if I would have said something like that, I would have said something.
Yep.
Mr. Romero,
I didn't saw any marks or bruises on her face. I don't recall. Just don't saw anything. She was just standing in front of me.
I'm asking specifically, I did not notice any bruises, cuts, swelling, red marks, or any other injuries of any kind.
She's repeating it, but he already said no.
Who wrote that?
That's what I said. I didn't saw any marks or bruises on her face. That's what I said.
But
Because they asked me if I remember seeing anything, and I just don't recall seeing any marks or bruises because she was just sitting in front of me. I just don't remember seeing anything. Just don't remember. It would have been so obvious, like someone had like a black eye. I would have like, whoa, I would have seen that, and I would remember because
he would probably ask
something.
something.
That you will see. Like so noticeable, like you will remember. But when I was there talking to her, she was like 3 feet away from me. She was right in front of me. I just don't remember seeing any marks, bruises, or anything.
But you don't know whether she was wearing makeup to cover it, do you?
No, I don't. No, she was wearing any makeup to cover it. Probably, the probably would cover any bruise, but you cannot cover the swelling.
Yep, that's true.
Were you looking for swelling?
Even if you put on makeup, your eyes still gonna be swollen. Like,
in fact, you were spending more time talking to Rocky about her dog, were you not?
That's correct. But I gotta have it. When I'm talking to someone, I look into their eyes. And when I was talking to Amber and
look
Rocky,
into their
I was
eyes.
looking into their eyes. And I probably wouldn't notice like any swelling or bruise. Like I said, I would notice.
Is it fair to say, Mr. Romero, that you can't say that Amber Heard had injuries or did not have injuries that day on the 25th?
I don't remember. And like I said, I would probably remember the swelling.
Yep.
But I didn't saw anything. Just don't remember.
And you don't remember seeing anything, right? But do you remember even looking?
I remember. I'm really sorry, but I remember. I gotta tell the whole story how they got there. Before they went and get the keys. They come down. They say somebody tried to get into my unit. There's scratches on my door. And like, I'm really sorry, but who will think it's gonna get into your unit because they saw some scratches on the door, like 4 inches above the door, because the dog was scratching the door, was trying to get in, and they thought about someone trying to break into their
so the
unit.
dog was out. They thought somebody was trying to break in, probably Johnny,
Someone's trying to get into your unit.
but it was a dog.
There's scratches like 4 inches above the floor on your door. That was the dog trying to get into the unit. And they were so afraid. Oh, somebody's trying to get into my unit. They're like, oh, come on, really? And I actually, when they asked me to go inside the unit just to check room by room
Really?
to make sure that no one was there.
God damn.
So I did that. It's part of my job. Make sure they're safe.
Yep.
But I didn't understand why they want me to do that. Like, I don't know. I just so stressed out because of this. I just don't want to deal with this anymore. I'm tired.
Yeah, he's
I
done.
don't want to deal with this court case. Everybody got problems. And
Everybody
I don't
has
wanna
fucking
do it
problems.
anymore.
He doesn't want to do it anymore. He's
I don't
fucking
want to
done.
do it saying any more words.
Johnny has problems. Amber has problems.
The
Like,
interaction you just testified
this is stupid
about
bullshit.
with Amber Heard and Rocky Pennington, talking about the dog and going out and checking out the penthouse. None of that was on video footage, correct?
That's correct. That we don't have cameras in the video. Sorry, we don't have cameras at the hallway. We don't have cameras on the hallway.
Seems like Johnny's super fond of
what has been marked as
what's his name?
Romero exhibit number 1.
Alejandro Romero, I think it is. Something like that.
Was taken of you on July 19, 2016. Now that's approximately 2 months after the May 21, 2016 incident. And do you recall giving that deposition?
16 probably I did. I just don't remember.
Okay. I'm going to take you to page 35.
He's so done. He has like better things to do than fucking testify for this fucking marriage bullshit.
You were asked. This is the same incident
Once
that
again,
we're talking about.
he's super happy, but for all we know, he paid off Alejandro accusation.
It's talking about.
But he got paid him off like a lot of money, so he didn't say shit, you know?
It says the question at line 6. I just want to go back for a second here. You said several times in answer to my questions that you didn't recall seeing any marks on Amber's face. When you say you didn't recall seeing any of those marks, did you mean that you didn't see any marks on her face? And your answer then was, I say that because when I saw Amber, I was not looking to see anything on her face. I was not looking to see anything.
Yeah.
Do you recall giving that testimony under oath back at that time, 2 months after the incident?
Yes, I remember. Because like I say, I always make eye contact with someone that I'm talking to, but I'm not looking to find something like oh, your makeup's wrong.
Yeah.
You haven't.
Why would you be actively looking for
Or
that?
your eyelashes are not even, or
Your eyelashes are fucking crooked.
looking at their eyes. I'm not looking for anything else. But if I see something, I will probably will remember.
If you saw something, right?
Yeah, I would have probably would see, like, if she had a swollen, like if she was wearing makeup, probably would have seen the swollen. I probably would remember that. But I was not looking for anything. I was like, oh, you know.
How swollen was Amber on the 25th of May? How swollen was her cheek then?
According to the pictures I've been seeing right now that you're showing me, it was pretty swollen. I probably will remember that.
Yeah.
How many
That's how you
days
hurt.
later
They hurt themselves a
did
little
you
bit.
see her from that swelling?
That was on a Wednesday. That was from Saturday to Wednesday.
Like, how many days? Would it be fair to say that you cannot testify one way or the other whether Amber Heard was domestically abused by Johnny Depp on May 21, 2016?
I cannot say that. I would not agree to testify against anyone of domestic violence because I was not there. I didn't see anything. I didn't hear anything. I was not there. I was never there. I was probably hundreds of miles away and got no idea what happened that day.
And do you remember?
He's taking a fucking vape shot.
Of wine.
Right? Was that a vape? No, that was a bottle.
Stains on the floor outside of the in the hallway of the penthouse from May 21st, 2016.
I remember throwing a mark. I'm not gonna say it was mine.
All right. Well,
I'm not an expert.
Ladies and gentlemen, the next portion of this deposition contains questions asked by counsel for Mr. Depp.
Okay.
You sit here today, when you saw her at the front desk on March 25th, you didn't see any bruising, correct?
Correct.
And you didn't see that correct?
That's correct. I didn't see any marks or bruises.
You didn't see any swelling either, did you, Mr. Romero?
That's correct. No swelling at all.
And she was only 3 or 4 feet away from you, correct?
Correct.
And you were looking right into her face squarely, correct?
Correct.
And the lighting was good at the front desk, correct?
Objection?
Correct.
It was so good that had she had any bruises, swelling, or marks on her face, you would have noticed that, correct?
Yep.
That's correct.
They're trying to object, but they're just
And then
asking
later
base
that-
questions that they already asked.
Later that same day, and you testified to this already today, later that same day, you went up the elevator with Ms. Hurd and Ms. Pennington in connection with their request for you to check the penthouse, correct?
Yep.
That's correct.
And during that entire period of time, taking them up to the penthouse, walking through the penthouse, and then finally you leaving and going back to your desk, you looked at Ms. Hurd during that time period, correct?
That's correct.
And you looked her in the face, squarely in the face, correct?
Correct.
And you didn't notice any swelling, correct?
Correct.
I'm sorry?
Correct. I didn't saw anything.
Yep.
Did you see any swelling?
Objection?
No.
Did you see any bruises?
Nope.
Did you see any marks on her face of any kind?
No marks at all.
And again, just to repeat, when you were front desk looking her in the face, did you see any swelling on her face?
Nope.
See any bruises on her?
Nope.
Did you see any marks of any kind on her face?
No marks at all.
And how was the light down when you were at the reception and you were looking at her and didn't see any of this? How was the lighting?
The lighting is actually pretty good. It's not,
Yeah.
it's not
A lot better than the apartment.
She was
But yeah,
3 feet apart.
basically that's the same line of questioning. They're just asking more.
3 to 4 feet apart.
Were you looking her
And
square in the
in the end, like, that's it. I just want to show the ending of it because it's fucking hilarious how this guy just fucking takes off.
The incident was May 21st, 2016. You saw her the night of May 25th, correct?
Yep.
Correct.
You said you saw Amber Heard hundreds of times while she was there. Amber Heard treat you well, and was she friendly to you in each of these hundreds of times?
Yes. I'm not gonna say no because she was really always nice.
All right, this is my last.
Be nice.
All right, this is my last question. You testified in response to.
He's already driving the fuck off.
That you testified truthfully in all of these occasions. Did you testify truthfully to everything that you testified in response to my questions today?
Yes.
That's correct.
All right.
I did.
All right, it's a good time to break for lunch. We'll just break a little early, so just don't talk to anybody, don't do any outside research, and we'll see you at 2 o'clock, okay? Thank you.
Oh, did they show the vape pit? Oh no, they didn't. Dude takes a massive swig of his vape and just drives the fuck off. And the judge is like fucking weird.
All right. That was a first, I'm sorry.
I will say, Your Honor, that is the most bizarre deposition.
Okay, all right, I was just gonna say, I've just never seen that before.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of things, but I've just
You
never
started
seen.
driving that.
Yeah, that did it. All right, so,
Like- Amber's lawyers were saying this was a bizarre, maybe you should like not pay attention to whatever he said. And it's fucking weird. Oh hey, the vape pit's right in the beginning.
The line. So the
He takes a vape and Johnny's
May
laughing.
21st, 2016.
Okay. I think that's like the biggest things right now. There's a few things that happen. Oh yeah, this one. Oh my fucking god.
For the perpetrator to essentially gaslight the victim, accuse them of being the perpetrator. Would you agree?
That's a characteristic of psychological abuse, yes.
Yep.
Okay, and it's common then for them to accuse them of being the perpetrator, the victim.
That's a characteristic of
both ways.
abuse from women perpetrated against men. It's actually very, very common. About 90% of male victims of IPV have reported that a female partner who abuses them makes threats to report their partner as an abuser.
Oops.
It's less common for men to make that statement to female partners just because there's less potential consequence.
And it's distressing for the victim to be accused, is it not?
Absolutely.
It causes them a lot of fear.
Certainly.
This could get turned around on redirect.
Distress.
Yep.
Absolutely, yes.
And in fact, they feel falsely accused. Right?
Yes.
And they feel paranoid.
This is a bad line of questioning.
And they feel frightened.
They're sinking their own ship.
Everyone's going to believe the perpetrator, correct?
Yes.
And in fact, they're afraid they're going to lose their security, correct?
Can you clarify what you mean by security?
Notice the tone change in the
They're afraid they're
doctor.
going to lose their reputation, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
She just literally described Johnny Depp.
Yeah. Like basically, Amber's lawyers just completely sunk themselves up because they were saying everything that Johnny's experiencing during this. Like he's a victim of the domestic violence, not the other way around, and they just agree with everything that Johnny's gone through. Like the secure of a job or whatever. Like he got kicked off Disney because of her allegations. Like there's a lot. So you guys should watch this video. It's about the body language of Johnny Depp and the body language of Amber Heard and how she kind of sank herself a little bit because she was gaining pleasure from somebody being vulnerable, especially Johnny Depp, and she was smiling during his testimony on how everything happened to him. You guys should watch this video. I don't want to play it all because it's pretty long and it goes very in depth in it, and I don't want to copy and paste this video. Go watch it. It's the behavioral arts. But yeah, I'm gonna leave it off here. I was gonna watch the whole thing. I kind of started, but I was like, nah, you guys can watch this video. Very good video. He covers a nice bit of it. He goes over the how the way he talks when he was saying his story on how he severed his finger. Basically remembering a lot of details about it because it was a traumatic experience, you know, and he can remember a nice bit of it. Then when things turn around and they start questioning him, like Amber's lawyers, he starts channeling more of a Jack Sparrow type of character, more boisterous, more rapid in answering instead of his normal slow cadence. And he says, like, he counter arguments, like when he's talking he gives a lot more sass and all that, and it shows that right there he's channeling part of his acting so he can disprove what they're saying. And while he was telling the story, he was like, there's a thing called as a baseline. A baseline is how you normally talk, how you normally say your stuff, and it shows a comparison of that. It also shows a comparison of Amber, how she derives pleasure from seeing Johnny weak and open, and she even smiles and breaks frame and tries to cover it up, like you can see in the thumbnail right there. She's like covering up a smile because she started smiling when Johnny was saying all the stuff. And there's a lot of details here, like when he cut his finger open, he started like writing on the walls with his bloody finger, and writing all the lies she said and all that, which is a really weird thing to add, but he explains it a little bit better. So yeah, check him out, behavioral arts. And I'm gonna leave it here. So if you guys want to see more, my opinion on this is both terrible people. You don't know what happens behind closed doors. You don't know what happens. He could be a piece of shit. He could be a woman beater. All that. But in the end of the day, we don't know these people. We don't know what they do. So take everything with a grain of salt. Things could change in like a day or so. The trial's still ongoing, so there's a lot more footage that might come up. Might touch it up a little bit later once there's more footage gathered. But yeah, I've been rambling long enough. I'm gonna let me know what you think in the comments down below. Be sure to subscribe so that way I can reach my 500 subscriber milestone. And until next time, guys. Bye.